Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
One-on-one na lang, one-on-one. Hindi na iba.
Ambot, sir, basi mo pa nga itong ibang gilabas.
So we will be discussing the integration process. This is the first topic that we will discuss for the midterm, no? There are some subtopics under this chapter, no? So we have integration, procedures. Okay, so we have some trigonometric integrals that cannot be solved using the basic integral formulas, the trigonometric functions that we discussed in chapter 2, no? So some forms of trigonometric equations can only be solved with these groups, no? So we have, I think, 3 groups for the integral form. Yeah, 3 groups, no? So these are the trigonometric integrals that we will discuss today. And of course, we have also trigonometric substitutions and integrals involving quadratic expressions and other substitutions pagid, no? And then the last part siguro would be the integration by parts and integration using the partial fractions. So integration by parts and integration using partial fractions, this will be used man sa inyong differential equations by next semester, as well as sa inyong advanced engineering mathematics, no? Yan. Okay, so let's start. So ano lang, brief discussion lang ni siya because our sample problem naman, step-by-step procedure naman siya. Okay, so we will just review it. Review ta lang siya. Okay, so Ayan, so in many calculus references, the list containing integration formulas are extensive. Some contain more than 50 formulas, while others have more than 100. So, ang aton lang ginadiscuss dire sa aton subject would be mainly ito yung mga ginagamit, no? Mostly ginagamit na integral formula. So since recalling formula is difficult, so pero certain nyo kasi open notes yung exam nyo. But unlike, no, if mag face to face na, so base probably you will just have your pen and paper na lang sa inyong table. The following integration procedures or techniques are used as a replacement to said additional formulas. So first, we have the solvable groups of trigonometric integrals. So we have 3 groups. Okay, so the first group, ayan, ito yung sinasabi ko that some groups, no, of integral or trigonometric integrals cannot be solved using the general formulas. Ito yung I sub 5 natin tsaka I sub 12. Ito yung nasa general formula ng trigonometric integral. Yan. So dito, dinivide natin siya into 3 groups, no? So we have here the first group. So we have 3 formulas wherein meron tayong case by case, no? So this can only be used with the following corresponding method, no? Yan. So for the case 1, so notice that we have here the exponent or powers, no? For the first term, we have the sine raised to n u, and then second term natin would be cos raised to n u. Okay, so for the case 1, if our m here is add, meaning that is 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. So we need to factor out the first term natin, which is the sine u du. And then exchange natin siya sa remaining sine into cosine na ginagamitan natin ng trigonometric identities, which is sine squared u plus cosine squared u is equals to 1. So transpose natin siya yung cosine squared para makuha natin yung sine squared u. Okay, so that is 1 minus cosine squared u na. Okay, so this came from the trigonometric identities. No? Ito. So we use the trigonometric identities to solve this form of integral that cannot be solved using the general formula. So it's sort of a factorization and then substitution using the trigonometric identities. Okay, so for example, we have here that is integral of sine cube. So yung m natin is 3, that is positive siya. Y cosine 1/2, or this is just square root of cosine, no? Y dy. And so here we factor out the sine cube y, or the sine mu. Ito yung siya. Ito yung factor natin, factor out. Yan. Yung sine cube y. Okay? Or that is sine y dy. Okay, sine y dy. So if factor out natin siya, so ayan, nilabas natin siya. Okay? So you will have now integral of sine squared y times cosine 1/2 y multiplied by the factor, that is sine y dy. Okay, and then the remaining part, that is sine squared y, it will be replaced now into trigonometric identities, that is 1 minus cosine squared y. Okay, pero nandiyan pa rin yung factor out natin. Yan. So replacing sine squared y dy into trigonometric identities form. And then proceed with the operation. For this case, we can now evaluate the format of this integral. Okay, we can now integrate the form. That is integral of 1 minus cosine squared y quantity multiplied by the cosine raised to 1/2 y sine y dy. So here we can now substitute, no, for the value of u, which is our cosine y. Okay, so we have here the cosine y. Ito, cosine y and cosine y. So yung exponent natin will still remain. Okay, will still remain. And then for u here is cosine y. Ito na yung let natin. And then for the du, that's the derivative of cosine y. So we have negative sine y dy. Okay. And then transpose natin. Kukunin natin yung value ng sine y. O yan, transpose natin. No? So yung negative sign dito na sa kabila. Ayan. Transpose natin. So our new format now, or our new equation now, would be integral of 1 minus u squared. Yung u natin is cosine y. So pinalit lang natin siya dito sa original form. And then cosine 1/2 y, that is u raised to 1/2. And then yung sine y dy natin, that is negative du. Okay, negative du. Ayan. Then proceed with the integration using the general formula. So here we have properties, no? Loss of exponent natin, or integration using the exponents, no? So that is integral of u raised to 5/2 minus u raised to 1/2, that is quantity multiplied by the negative du. Okay, so negative du, this is just so this one, that is 2/7, no? 2/7 u raised to 7/2 minus ito, that is u raised to 1/2, no? Or that is 2/3. 2/3 u raised to 3/2. Ano to integration by integration by parts to. Ito, dinistribute natin. So that is 1 times u raised to 1/2. And then ito, this is negative u squared times u raised to 1/2. Yan. So magiging positive siya. Magiging negative na, so that is 1/2 maghihapon. Tama. Ayan. So dinistributive natin. Ayan. Then proceed with the integration by parts. This is integral of u raised to 5/2. And this is minus integral of u raised to 1/2. Ayan. Multiplied by integral of negative du. Ayan. Then once na integrate na natin, you will now have a new format, and then substitute natin balik natin yung value ng u dito. So now you will have 2/7 cosine y raised to 7/2 minus 2/3 cosine y 3/2 plus c. So the same process, and then okay, so next, we have this example. Okay, so here we have another. Yung m natin is equals to 5, so add siya. So we have 3 forms, no? We have 3 forms for group 1. So we have ito, and ito. Yan. Yung sa first term lang, yung sign, ito lang yung m natin. Yan. Tignan natin sa second example. Okay. So we have integral of sine raised to 5 to 2t dt. Yan. So factor out natin yung first term, or ito lang naman siya. So that is sine 2t dt. So hindi natin pina-factor out yung ano. Yan. So matira dito would be integral of sine 4 2t times yung finactor out natin, that is sine 2t dt. Kasi pag pinagsama mo to, yung ito, pag sinimplify mo siya, it will just result to integral of sine 5 2t dt. Yan. Then after ma-factor out yung first term natin, convert natin into trigonometric identities. So the same pa rin yung process natin for the case. This is for the case 1, wherein yung m natin is add, di ba? That is 5. So we use the factor out natin yung sine 2t dt, and then change natin yung natira. Yung natira na lang is sine 4 2t. Di ba? So yung natira, gagamitan natin ng trigonometric identities. So that is 1 minus cosine squared 2t. Okay, so trigonometric identities na to, that is sine theta is equals to 1 minus cosine theta. Yan. So the same maghihapon siya with the exponent. No? So we have, okay. So nilabas lang yung kabila, no? Ayan. Kasi sine squared to eh. So eto 4 kasi, 'di ba? So nilabas natin yung kabila. So the same pa rin siya. So this will just result to sine 4 2t. Yan. Same pa rin siya. Okay, so nilabas lang natin. So kumbaga yung change lang natin is sine squared. Ito. Sine squared 2t lang. Tapos yung isa, so syempre dapat naka-quantity ka dyan eh. Quantity squared ka dyan. So it will just the same as sine raised to 4 2t. Yan, same lang yan. So nilabas natin yung power dito sa kabila. Yan. Now with this format, we can have a substitution. So we let u, yung u natin it would be cosine 2t. Ito pa rin yung u natin. And then that is the derivative of u natin, that is negative 2 sine 2t dt. Okay, so this is just the derivative. Derivative nito. Yung du. Then, para makuha natin yung du, transpose natin sa kabila. Okay, so now we will have negative 1/2 du, or this is just negative du, no, over 2. Negative du over 2 equals to sine 2 dt. 2t dt. Yan. So the same lang yan. Negative 1/2 du sine 2t dt. Okay, now we can simplify this formula na or form. So that is 1 integral of 1 minus yung cosine squared 2t magiging u na lang. But of course, you still have your exponent. Okay, so that is u squared quantity squared. Okay. Pag in-square mo naman yung 1 lang naman, di ba? So dito lang tayo nagtatalo sa u. Yung u squared na to is will be u raised to 4. Kasi pag minultiply natin yung exponent, nag-a-add tayo. Okay. Then multiplied by ano to, yung sine 2t dt. So this is just negative 1/2 du. Okay, so ito siya. Okay, so ni-replace lang natin yung original value. Ayan. Then simplify natin or okay, simplify lang natin. I think this is expanded, no? In-expand natin yung first term natin dito. Expand. So expand natin siya. That is 1 minus 2 u squared plus u raised to 4. Okay. Minultiply lang to ito. So parang ano lang siya. 1 minus u squared multiplied by itself. 1 minus u squared. So then distribute. Yan. Multiply lang siya. Multiply. Then ito naman. Tsaka ito. So yung equation natin would be 1. Then ito will be negative. Ano, di ba? Negative u squared. Tapos ito magiging positive u raised to 4. And then of course, pabalik naman. So you still have your negative u squared here. And then dito. So the same magyapon. So it will result to 1 minus 2u squared plus u4. Yan. So in-expand natin to. Then multiplied by the remaining, that is negative 1/2 du. Yan. Then proceed with the integration. Okay, integration using the general formula. Integration na to. So of course, we have the constant here. So nilabas natin. That is negative 1/2. And then ito, ano na yung ano nito? Integral of 1. This is u lang, no? So this is just integral integration by ano na? Okay, so balik natin Erase muna. So magiging labas natin to. So that is 1/2, negative 1/2, integral of 1 du minus integral of 2u squared, or that is negative. Or ito na yung negative sign natin. Okay, so minus integral of 2u squared plus integral of u raised to 4. Yan. Multiplied by integral of, nilabas na natin to, so meaning du na lang, integral of du. Once na na-integrate mo to, so ito constant, ito siya. Integral of 1 du, that is u. Integral of 2u squared, that is negative 2/3 u cubed. Okay, so this is an exponent, no? Magpa-plus tayo. And that is plus integral of u raised to 4, or that is 1/5 u raised to 5 all over by, wala na. So, ito kasi 1 lang to eh, di ba? Integral of du is just 1. Okay. So, plus c na. Okay, so ito na yung bagong format mo. And then, babalik natin yung transpose natin or yung ginamit natin na u. Okay, so babalik natin siya dito. So that is negative 1/2 multiplied by cosine 2t. Ito na siya. Minus 2/3 cosine cube. Okay. Bilhin ng yapon natin nga power. Itong exponent. 2t plus 1/5 cosine raised to 5. 2t plus c. So this is now your answer. Sir, what if even? Yan. So dito tayo sa case 2. Okay? So for the case 2, this is when n, ito yung sa second na, no? Sa second term na natin sa ito. Ito. Dito na tayo. So what if even to? So case 1 dito tayo sa first term, case 2 dito sa second term. Yan. So when n is odd, okay, so when n is odd, factor out cosine u du. And then, yun din yung gagamitin natin for the process. So the same lang din, pero pinagbaliktad na natin yung cosine at sine. Okay, still we use the trigonometric identities. Okay, that is sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equals to 1. Ito yung trigonometric identities natin. So pwede mo siya i-transpose dito. You can use it using the case 1. And then for the case 2, ito naman yung transpose natin dito. Para makuha natin yung cosine squared u. Ito. Yan. So the same process tayo for this case. No? Okay. So we have here odd number. Yan. So we factor out. Ito yung factor out natin. That will become cosine 4. So itong cosine 4 x, ito yung papalitan natin ng trigonometric identities na 1 minus sine squared u. Yan. So ito siya. Yan. Okay. So quantity squared natin yan kasi para ano pa rin yung 4 natin na original. Yan. So expand lang natin ng konti. Dito remain. Then ito remain din. Yan. So na-replace na natin after ma-factor out with the use of trigonometric identities. And then we can now proceed with substitution. So we let u again is equal to sine x. So ito. So ano wag niyong pakialaman yung power dito. Yan, ito lang. Sin x lang. Yan. So meaning lahat na sin x gagawin natin u. Okay, so it will now become ito yung sin to, magiging u to raised to 1/3. Ito magiging 1 minus sin x. So that is u squared na lang. Quantity squared pa rin. Okay, quantity squared pa rin. Then cosine x dx. Ay, hindi. Yung cosine x dx, ito na yung du natin. So magiging du na to. This is just a derivative of sine x. Yan. So ito na yung general formula mo. Now from this part, you can expand this one. Ito, expand natin to. So magiging 1 minus 2u squared plus u4. And then proceed with distributive property. So multiply mo yan. Okay, multiply mo yan. or now you will have u raised to 1/3, that is u raised to 1/3 times 1, minus 2u 7/3 plus u raised to 13 over 3. And that is u raised to 1/3 plus 4 plus u raised to 4. And multiplied by du. Then you will proceed with integration. So this is now integral of u raised to 1/3 minus integral of 2 u raised to 7/3 plus integral of u raised to 13 over 2 over 3. Then of course this is multiplied by du, or multiplied by integral of du, or this is just integral of 1, or multiplied by 1. So integral of u raised to 1/3, that is 3/4 u raised to 4 over 3, minus integral of u raised to 7 over 3, that is, ito, inano lang to 2 times, ito kasi 2, di ba? So nilabas to siya. Yan. So magiging ano to, magiging minus 2 integral of u raised to 7 over 3, or that will become equal to negative 2 times integral nito, that is 3 over 10 u 10 over 3. Yan, or that is ito. Yan. Then integral of u 13 over 3, that is 3 u raised to 16 over 3 over 16. So dito na part, review niyo yung general formula, no? Okay. Dito na part, so review niyo yung general formula ng integral calculus. Ito yung sa first part na diniscuss natin, sa unang-una. So general formula to ng integral calculus. Ayan, yung ginamit dito. Then you will now have your new equation. Ito na yan. After you integrate, substitute back the value of u, which is sine x. So we now have 3/4 sine raised to over 3 x minus 3/5 or 3/5 sine 10 over 3 x plus, and so on. Now this will be your answer. So questions so far, clarifications. Intindihan? Intindihan? Sure ka mo Okay, so the same process with example number 2. So let's proceed to the case number 3, no? When m is even. Saan na yun? Ayan, ito. So case number 3, so when m and n are even. Ayan, so ano yung gagamitin natin? So we will use these identities. Okay, so we will use these identities, no? Kapag yung dalawang terms natin, yung exponent nila is even. Yan. So for example, we have here integral of sine squared z cosine squared z dz. So we just substitute. Okay, substitute natin. So for the sine squared u, ito siya. So sine squared u or sine squared z, we can just have 1/2 minus 1/2 cosine 2z. Yan, ito siya. Then for the cosine squared z dz, we can have 1/2 plus 1/2 cosine 2z. So madali lang naman to kasi may ano naman kayo. May notes naman kayo. May notes naman. Yan. Okay, then proceed with the integration. So magiging ano to? So simplify natin, no? Simplify natin to be 1 minus cosine 2z. Okay, multiplied by 1 plus cosine 2z. The same pa rin. Okay. So, proceed with integration. So, yung constant labas natin, that's 1/4. Multiply to multiply. And then, ito, of course, multiply mo itong dalawang term na to. That's 1 minus cosine squared 2z dz. Then, proceed with the integral. So, integral of 1 dz minus 1/4. Ito yung isa. Integral of cosine squared 2z dz. Yan. But take note that the cosine squared 2z is ito. Yan. So that is 1/2 plus 1/2 cosine 2z. So substitute natin ulit siya dito. Okay. Ito siya. Yan. So we have 1/2 pa rin plus 1/2 cosine 4z. And so nagiging 4z na tayo. Then again, integral 1/4 dz minus 1/8 na multiplied minus 1/8 integral of cosine 4z dz. So yung lahat ng constant labas natin. Then proceed with the integration. So ito magiging 1/4 na lang to, pero for this case hindi pa natin siya ma-integrate eh. So here we let again u as 4z for this case dito na part. So we proceed with the second substitution. Second, or this is just the first? First pa lang to, no? Ayan, first substitution. So we let u as 4z. And our du now would be 4dz, or yung dz natin is just equal to 1/4 du. Okay. Then sa substitute natin yung mga value na to dito. Okay. So ito will just remain. So proceed with the integration for this one, except for this case. Ito. So ito, gagamitan natin ito. Okay, so yung 4z natin, gagawing u. This is just cos u. Ito na siya, cosine u. And then yung dz natin is just 1/4 du. So multiplied by 1/4 du. dz, ito siya. Then yung 4z, ito naman siya, u. So based pa rin siya dito sa nilet natin. And then proceed with the integration dito. Okay, so ito magiging 1/8z minus 32. Okay, that is 1/8. 1/8z minus 132 sine. So this is now the integral of cosine u, which is sine u. Diba? So ito multiply lang to, nilabas to. That is 1/8 times 1/4. You will now have your 1/32. Okay. Then you will now have your general formula. Saka natin substitute back. So tapos na tayo with the use of general formula for integration. Dito na part. And then substitute na natin back yung value ng u, which is u is equals to 4z. Yan. So your definite answer would be 1/8z minus 1/32 sine 4z plus z. Okay, so ito na yung answer natin. Pero pag gagamitan mo to ng you can also use the general formula, pero I think very siya, mahaba siya. So instead they have this alternative, no? Case by case. Okay, case by case tayo. Okay, next. Okay, so the same process lang for this example number 2. So we go now to group number 2. Okay, so sa first group we have sine cosine. Diba? So the second group we have tangent and secant. So the same lang din na process. Pinagkaiba lang nito is yung ito, sine cosine For group number 2, we have tangent and secant. Tangent and secant. So the same, we use the integral, we use the trigonometric identities for this case, no? So when m is odd, factor out naman natin yung sec u tan u du. Okay, so if factor out natin to. Then change natin yung remaining into secant using the identity. Trigonometric identities pa rin gamit natin for this case. Okay, so we now have the tan squared u is equals to secant squared u minus 1. So similar process sa group 1, no? So no need to okay, so check natin example number 1. So we have here the add yung tan raised to 5. Okay, so anong gagawin natin? Factor out natin, no, yung tangent secant. Yan. Baliktad to secant u tan u du. Dapat ano to, tangent u. But the same pa rin, the same lang din naman. The same lang din naman sec u tan u du. Huwag lang kayo magano, don't be confused with this one. So the same lang yan. Okay, so factor out natin will become yung whole ifa-factor out natin. Yung buong mismo, not only the first term, but the whole. Okay, so meaning parang lalabas natin yung isa. So, ito yung original, ito yung finactor out natin. Yan, ito yung finactor out natin. Okay. Then, simplify natin, no? That is tan and expand natin to, that is tan squared x quantity squared, or that will become secant squared x minus 1. So ito na yung substitution natin. Okay, yung value ng tan squared x is just equal to secant squared x minus 1 with the use of trigonometric identities. Then proceed with the same maghihapon. Okay. Then expand natin to. It will have sec 4x minus 2 sec 2x plus 1 multiplied by sec cube. So the same pa rin ito. The same pa rin siya. So dito nag-expand lang tayo. So dito trigonometric identities. Papunta dito. So ito siya, trigonometric identities. Ayan. So una natin finactor out, then use trigonometric identities, then expand natin yung first term, expand. Yan, expand na natin siya. Then proceed the operation. Okay, so that is secant 7. Okay, so that is secant 4x multiplied by secant cube. So distributive property, multiply natin siya. Each, so, so ito, saka ito. Kaya natin. Hindi pala yan. Ito pala. Buo. Buo siya. Yan. Then second naman, is negative 2 secant. Dito rin, sa buo. Okay. Then yung last naman, yung 1 multiplied by dito pa rin. Or that will equal to, ito na, yung kanina, yung sa blue, ito siya. Then yung sa green, ito siya. Then yung sa last na red, ito siya. Multiply lang natin. Okay. Then for this equation now, we can let u, that is secant x. So let natin siya, yung secant x natin as our u. Then derive natin yung secant x, that is secant x tan x dx. Yan. Derive lang natin to para makuha mo yung du, or that is the derivative of u. No? Then substitute natin. Okay. So substitute natin. So ano na to? That is, ito sinimplify na to eh. Sinimplify na to. Medyo mahaba na yung solution kasi dito. So we let lang, that is integral of secant x, so that is u. U 7. Yan. Tangent. Ito kasi tangent secant or secant tangent to. Diba? So this is will be your du na. Or u raised to 7 du. Yan. Minus 2 secant 5x. So this is just integral of minus integral of 2 u5 u raised to 5. Then tan sec. So ito yung du natin. Du. Plus integral of itong buo. This is just u cubed du. Then proceed with the integration. Or your answer would be equal to 1/8 secant 8 x. So integration using the general formula for this one, and for this one. Ito ilalabas mo to kasi ano to, constant to yung 2. Okay, lalabas mo yan. Okay. So your general answer now, or your final answer now, would be this one. Try nyo ipadayunan ang solution. Ito yung answer niya. So the same goes with example number 2. So the same lang yan. Okay. Medyo mahaba to eh. Ayan. So more on simplification lang to sa baba. Ayan. So just don't forget your general formula for integration. Kasi gagamitin mo siya dito. For the case 2 naman, that is when n is even, okay, and greater than 2. Okay, so hindi siya 2 but greater than 2. So meaning it's 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. And so we use this trigonometric identities again. Same case with the other groups. Yeah. Okay, so for example, we have the cube root of tan x multiplied by secant 4x. So we factor out again, no? Ifa-factor out na natin yung the second term. So sec squared u du. So ito yung factor out natin. So this will just remain, that is 1 or cube root of tangent x secant squared x na to. Okay. Multiplied by the factor. Ito yung finactor out natin, secant squared x dx. Then yung natira, of course, will be substituted into trigonometric identities, or that is 1 plus tan squared x. And then ito na siya. And then proceed with substitution. So we let u is equal to tan x, and du would be secant squared x dx. So this is just the derivative of your u. Then substitute. Okay. So for the tan x, we have u, so that is u raised to 1/3. So, and then 1 plus tan squared natin, which is u, that is u squared. And yung secant squared x dx natin is just du. So ito na siya, retain lang yung du. Ayan. Then proceed with integration. So alam mo muna siya, i-separate mo muna, that is integral of u raised to 1/3 plus integral of u raised to 7/3 multiplied by integral of du. Or that is just equal to 3u raised to 4/3/4. Actually, ano siya eh, 3/4 siya eh. 3/4 u 4/3 minus 3/10 3/10 u 10/3 and plus c. Then substitute back the value of u, which is tan x. Or your final answer now will be this one. Okay, so for the case number 3 naman, so if when m is even and the integrand is tangent only. So titingnan nyo yung mga problems if ang case na belong. Okay, so we can use the case number 3 kung yung integrand mo is tangent only. Pero pag may second yan, then of course that's another story. Gagamitin mo yung case number 1 natin. Pag may second siya. Okay. Pero gagamitan mo lang siya if naka-add yung exponent natin. Makagamit ka lang ng even. Ano yun? Yan. Kung tangent only. Meaning walang second dito. So in that case, you can use the cases using the even number. Okay, so simple lang to. Ito rin yung ginawa natin. Expand natin siya. Yan. Then convert into trigonometric identity. Ayan. Then expand again. So this second 4y minus 2 second squared y plus 1 dy. Then proceed with the integration. Integral of second 4y minus integral of 2 second squared y plus integral of 1 dy. Ayan. So note that the second and third integrals can be solved already. Ito. Ito pala. Second and third. Second and third. Ito kasi, second fourth siya. Diba? So meaning we can expand this one. Okay. So the first integral, pwede natin siya ma-solve using the case number 2. Okay, wherein, factor out natin yung second y dito. Or the second squared y multiplied by second squared y dy. Then yung natira, ito, substitute natin ito trigonometric identities. Then we let the u. So the same procedure with the case number 2 for this integral. So first integral natin dito. Yan. Okay. How about the third or the group 3? So for this group of integrals, so we just follow the cases and that are parallel to the group to that of the group 2. So meaning in cases 1, 2, and 3 of group 2, so we'll just replace every word tangent and every symbol tan by cotangent and cot respectively. Okay. So for case 1 of group 2, when m is add, factor out second u tangent u du. So change natin siya. Ito, di ba? So change natin siya into cotangent and then cosecant. Yan. So cotangent and cosecant na. Hindi na tangent, cosecant. So this is in case number for the group number 3, no? We're in the same lang din ng form natin. Okay, so the same cases yung gagamitin, but instead of tangent and secant, we use the cotangent and cosecant. Yan. So yung process natin, the same din. Okay, so the same process din yung ginamit natin dito. So factor out, substitute the trigonometric identities, then let u or let something a variable, then proceed with the integration using the general formula. Pero ano mo muna, expand mo muna. Okay. You just need to expand this one. So tingnan natin to, yung example, isang example lang, no? Group number 3. Okay, isang example lang. Then may exercises kayo. Okay. Tingnan natin. So this is cotangent cube, no? Z dz over square root of cosecant z. Yan. Okay, so sinimplify natin. So this is just the same as cosecant raised to negative 3 over 2. Okay. Z cotangent squared. So ito na yung ano natin. Ito na yung finactor out natin na form. Ito yung square root of cosecant z. Bakit negative 3? Hindi naman to cube root. So ano to cosecant 1/2, di ba? 1/2 z. So sa taas siya. So pag tinranspose natin siya sa taas, so inverse yung exponent natin. Okay. So you now have cosecant raised to negative 3 over 2. Yan. So ano lang natin to, tinranspose na using the radical rule. So review your algebra for this case. Yan. And then proceed with the factor out. Yung natira, ito yung finactor out natin. Yung natira would be used to trigonometric identities. So you now have your cosecant squared z minus 1. Dito siya. Then ito pa rin. Yan, so same pa rin siya. Then proceed with substitution. So we let natin u is equals to cosecant z squared or cosecant z. Then yung du natin would be the derivative of cosecant. That is negative cosecant z cotangent z dz. Or transpose natin, kukunin natin yung ito lang. So yung value niya would be negative du. Now you will substitute it to this equation. So yung u natin would be cosecant z. So it will become integral of u raised to negative 3 over 2 and multiplied by ito, u squared minus 1 multiplied by negative du to. Ito, negative du. Siya. Ito. Then multiply. Yan. Or that is u raised to negative 3 over 2 minus u squared. Then proceed with the integration. Okay, that is integral of u raised to negative 3 over 2 minus integral of u raised to 1/2 multiplied by integral of du. Yan. Or that is, ito na yung answer mo. Then substitute back. So substitute back natin value ng u. So ito, cosecant z. Or now you will have negative 2 over square root of cosecant z minus 2/3 cosecant 3 over 2 z plus c. Or you can just have negative 2 cosecant raised to negative 1/2 z. So pwede naman yan. Okay, so or kung gusto mo, ilagay mo siya sa baba, right? Then you will use the square root, no? Square root of cosecant. Yan. Okay. Questions, clarifications before we end our discussion. Yara, questions, clarifications? Naintindihan? Silence means yes ko, no? So, okay. So, for your activity, no? Try to answer your exercises. I think this is posted also sa Neo LMS. Okay, so try to solve the tanan 10 exercises Kung ano lang makaya nyo. Okay, answerin yung 1 to 10 kung kaya. So for our next meeting, we will continue the discussion of part 2 of chapter 3, 3.2, no? I think we can have this discussion by next Tuesday. Okay, next Tuesday tayo magdi-discuss. So I will leave the exercises by Thursday, next meeting to you. Okay? So, wala na. Stop sharing and stop recording. Ayan.